So these recordings, this habit of recording done for me. Do you know I'm 2,000 through easy now, well into 3,000. Recordings, yeah. I haven't put them all on YouTube, of course. I only burdened them with 1,000 or so. What's been the blessing to me? It's unraveled my thoughts in relation to God, my dad. John 17. Number plate on my car is John 17. I chose it, of course. I paid for it. You wouldn't think I'd be daft enough to waste, would you? $1,000 on having a number plate that's got a text on it. But I just thought it might reach one or two people that are desperate and happen to be behind me in a queue of traffic. And it gives them the way out if only God opens their eyes to it. So I spent the money. And when you're managing on a pension, that's a lot of money. Especially a state pension. Well, I had a bit of saving, let's be reasonable. I'm not quite as noble as I'd like to appear. Oh, thank you, Dad. Love you. Love you, Dad. So, getting back to where I started, the recordings, what's the blessing they've been to me? Well, they give me incredible, extensive time verbalizing, speaking the words in relation to God. It's like for me, it's far easier than meditating or praying without ceasing, or it's even far, far easier than my practice of thanking God for all things continuously. My mind wanders, but when I'm recording, well, as you can see, my words wander a bit, but I keep pulling it back because I'm thinking, oh, now hang on, I'm trying to bless these people, I'm trying to bless these people. I quite simply say, I want you to be blessed. And hopefully that is a blessing. So in some sense, it's a noble purpose that keeps me on track and results in me being so, I was going to say abundantly blessed. It sounds a bit twee, doesn't it? But you know what I mean, don't you? So blessed. So utterly blessed. Talking to you about God. Your God and my God, our God. I think they're the same in the end. Might not be in the beginning, but we're kids are chaotic, aren't we? But by the grace of God, our lovely Dad will get there. And I know the culture I come from is male-dominated, and I can't really see my way through that. I still am responding to him as a dad who I've found, whereas Mum was just there. But Dad wasn't. Dad was afar off. And God is so far off to so many secular people and even religious people. Oh gosh, more to some religious people. Lost in their literalism of the story. A bizarre literalism that is legalistic in the end. is a bigger fright than the secular life. You know, a literal interpretation of Revelation. It's horrendous. I've been sitting through it at a Saturday type fellowship well, it's not really that. They just have a Sabbath meal on a Friday evening, and they watch this chap who is a fundamentalist, messianic Christian. That's a Christian that basically is focused on the Torah rather than the Gospels. I mean, he does mention the Gospels, but not much at all. His whole drive is the Torah. The first 5 books of the Old Testament. And his view of Revelation is horrendously literal. It's an absolute nightmare. Well, it is if you know the love of God, as far as I can see anyway. But having said that, some very earnest, ardent followers who are, well, who have some very good values. And you find this in every walk of life, every religion, every philosophical view, at least to some extent, and very often enormously. And this is not surprising, because God loves all and is caring for all and is teaching them in their way, in a way specific to them. You see, he doesn't treat us all as cattle, all as clones and drones, as subjects. We are his children, and he loves our individuality. And he's very able and very loving, and can use our individuality, and does, to perfect purpose. Because he's our dad and he loves us. Thank you, Dad.